I scored a 1550 on the digital SAT using only 2 resources. I didn't buy any expensive prep books or use any expensive tutors or anything like that. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what those 2 resources were and how I used them to achieve my score. The first resource, and a really common resource, is the College Board's Blue Book for the practice SAT test. So I would highly recommend using these practice tests. You go on the website, I think there are probably like 8 of them or whatever, take those tests. They will help you a lot. But it's not just taking the test, it's what you do after you have taken the test that is going to help differentiate you from the other test takers. The second resource I used was AI. Specifically, I used the chatbot Gemini, but you can really use any sort of chatbot. And the goal with this is to have the chatbot act as your personalized tutor, with an emphasis on explaining the concepts behind the questions you're missing. So I'll show you guys a few examples. So right here we have a question, a SAT reading question, and I was confused between, for example, let's say I was confused between choices B and D. I could say a prompt like this. I was stuck between answer choice B and D, being very specific for this SAT reading question. Explain precisely from the text why B is the correct answer. More importantly, explain the logical flaw in answer choice D that makes it a convincing but incorrect trap. See, I'm placing emphasis on why I was confused in the question, hoping that the model can explain to me where I was leading myself astray. So this is the main goal, trying to understand based on fundamental principles, why am I getting confused here? Where is my logic incomplete? What is happening? And then I will thoroughly read through everything the AI is saying, make sure everything makes sense, make sure I understand everything, and if I don't understand something that it's saying, I will ask it again. Hey, explain this to me. Now, this is more time consuming, especially initially, but you will get this fundamental knowledge that most people who don't go through this won't understand. So that's a brief example for a reading question. Now let's go on to a math one. So here's an example of a relatively confusing math question on the SAT. Now what you can do, and sometimes helps, you could say you are an expert SAT math tutor or reading tutor before you give the prompt. Here's a question I got wrong. Explain the solution step by step and in a simple way. I typically like the step by step for the prompt for specific math problems. Then tell me what the core math concept that this question is testing, and explain to me this concept based on the fundamental principles. Again, especially with math, everything is based on fundamental principles. So if you don't understand those, you're going to be screwed. So I did that, and it'll give you step-by-step solutions, and you could ask it exactly any other questions you may be confused about. So this is exactly what I was doing with my math and reading questions. If I was ever confused and wanted more info, the College Board does have a small explanation on their questions from the practice test. But in my opinion, the AI is a much better tutor. So that's the combo. Use the official test from the College Board, and then use the AI to help you understand all the fundamental principles that are being taught. I used this combo. It was extremely effective for me. I didn't spend much time studying and was able to get a good score using this. Now, another side tip that I would recommend you guys do is use a journal. And in this journal, write down every single question you got wrong. So when I say write down, I mean write down why you got it wrong. What concept was being tested? What did you think as you were doing this problem? And what was the correct answer, and why was it the correct answer? Placing emphasis on understanding the why behind everything, guys. I think a big thing when it comes to the SAT is understanding that this is not just a test where you memorize something and regurgitate information. You can try to do that, but it's going to be a hell for you. Instead, if you come in with the idea that I'm just going to learn these concepts, I'm going to learn what they're trying to test me on, that is basic math, algebra, geometry, basic English, grammar, reading comprehension, etc., you will be fine. Understand the principles, and you're going to do just great. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them down below. And if you guys are interested in any SAT tutoring, make sure to check the link down below and feel free to reach out to me.